You could call it a parenting default. We love, so we worry. We don't mean to, we just do. And in that process, we sometimes do more harm than good. My next guest wants you to stop settling for worry and start acting on trust. Stop settling on worry and acting on trust. I love that. Studio 5 parenting contributor Heather Johnson has ways to help us build a better habit of it. Don't settle on worry.
No, we're not going to settle for that.
I love that line.
It tends to be our default, and we're not going to let it be our default anymore.
Why do we go to that place so easily as moms?
Well, like you said, we love our kids. We love our family members, our friends, the people we worry about. And so naturally, out of love, we do that.
Yeah.
There's this space, too, where we worry simply because we have a lot more experience than our children do. And so we naturally can foresee things that might come into their lives or be problems for them. We don't want them to go through those things.
Oh, yes. A, B, or C could happen, and we've experienced all of them, so let me shield you from that.
Absolutely, and let me safeguard you from those things. And I almost like to think of healthy worry, because there is healthy worry, right? That healthy worry is really just being concerned. We should be concerned, and we want to be concerned. But when we get to a place of worry, worry isn't productive, and worry doesn't help. And that's the misnomer. We think the more I worry about it, the more I'm going to help the situation or help this relationship. Worry doesn't do that. Worry leads to anxiousness. It leads to stress. Worry is stemming from where we're fearful and when where we're insecure. So when we think about worry, it's coming from our fears and our insecurities. So the problem is all of our energy goes into managing what we're afraid of and what we're insecure in instead of going to the situation itself.
So it's where we channel the energy. It's not the worry. Worry can be careful. Worry can be concern. It's how we channel that energy behind it that matters.
And when the worry is taking over so that we're not able to trust, we're in trouble there. Now look at its impact, which is interesting to see. When I'm overly worried, when we're overly worried, we treat our children different. We handle the relationship differently. So when I'm worrying all the time, I'm asking them and questioning them a lot. I'm not listening as much as I'm telling them and trying to instruct them. I break up a connection between the two of us instead of building a connection. Now, if I trust them, I act complete opposite of that. So when we're functioning or parenting out of worry instead of acting out of trust, we actually hurt that relationship instead of build it. We've all been around someone who worries a lot, right? And there comes a point where it's like, just stop asking me or stop pushing this thing.
You want to distance yourself from that energy.
We do.
So once we've harnessed the energy and identified it, we can start putting it in the right direction, which you say is toward trust, and that can begin with education.
It can, and recognizing that emotions and what we feel is just energy is really, really important. When I feel something, that's coming from what I'm thinking about. And that energy, those emotions, it's just energy. And I can either put it towards worry or I can put it towards trust. Now, if we make it easier, I can put it towards something that's productive or something that's not productive. And so even just reminding ourselves, okay, let's put how I feel towards something that's productive. That's a really great place to start. Not being educated is also a really big problem. And we don't mean educated like university and colleges. That's not what we're talking about. A really good example of this in my life is, and I mentioned it before, is that my husband grew up riding dirt bikes.
Yeah.
He loves them. He's great on them. He doesn't have any worry over them. I didn't grow up doing that. I had lots and lots of worry. Not because of the bike or because of him, but because I wasn't educated. I didn't have enough knowledge to know how they worked, to know, how to ride them. I'd never been on one. But once I gained the education, the knowledge, the worry falls away. Now, it's the same thing with our kids. When our kids are worrying about something, if we can give them more information, if we can educate them, even little things like, well, I have a recital on Wednesday and I have to sing. Well, do I walk out on stage before my music starts or after my music? Those are things we worry about.
Yeah.
So when we educate them, it helps them to not worry.
Probably, I would imagine, not just using your example, if I can borrow that, not just educating yourself about the bike or how it works, but educating yourself about how your husband rides. I mean, there's something there about the education of your child, knowing what they can do, and we won't know unless, I guess, we let them walk out on the stage before their recital.
Absolutely, and let them do it, and also talk to them about those things. Not from a place of worry, that's not productive. Remember, that's not productive. But from a place of, let's build this trust. So let's you and I talk this through. Even when I do think back to when my husband and we were, getting married and he starts and is riding at that time, the more I was able to, like you said, understand his ability.
Yeah.
The more he was able to give me information about where he rode and how he did it and what he was thinking, which was, well, I want to come home alive and safe tonight too. That then allows me to put the worry down and pick up trust.
We touched on when worry stems from like knowledge or confidence, like I've been down that road, I know what could happen. What about when our parental worry comes from a place of uncertainty? Like, I don't know.
We don't know what will happen. Then we come to a place where we simply say life is uncertain. And we actually just accept that life is uncertain. How many days have you planned out in your life thinking it would go a certain way, only to find out when you climbed into bed, it went nothing as you had planned? Every day, right? Life is full of uncertainty. Worry doesn't make life certain. And that's where we get trapped. We think in our heads that the more we worry, the more certainty we will have.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite.
You want us to ask the right questions.
Yes, which is always important. And here's why. Whatever question you ask your brain, it will answer. So if I ask all the ways that my child is going to get hurt today, I will come up with all of them. If I ask the ways I can trust, I will see all of those spaces. So we want to ask, are these thoughts in my head, are they helpful? Are they productive?
Yeah.
If you want a very quick exercise that helps your mind get into that right place, if there's a circumstance you're worried about, sit down and write all your worries down. As fast as you can, dump them all out on a piece of paper. And then go back and cross out all the ones that you have no control over. And then everything that's left, make a plan for. That's simple. And if we start executing an exercise like that, if worry is a really big deal in your life, start going through that exercise and you will start to see where to put your energy and where not to put your energy.
I love that.
And it will start to clear those things up.
As we try to move from worry to a position of more trust or an offering of more trust, you actually link trust to character.
And we hear that word, it's kind of a buzzword every 5-10 years. It comes out in the media again a lot. Character is when we're able to take out the emotion and the circumstance and do a right thing. Now, if we go by that definition, which keeps it very basic, the more character we exhibit over time, the more trust is built. And so when we can manage our emotions and get a hold on the circumstance in front of us and execute a right thing, which is acting in ways that line up with who we want to be, and the parent and the mother and the woman that I want to be, now all of a sudden I'm building trust. When I do this consecutively over time, then we trust each other more, and I build trust in the people around me. So we want to make sure that character is a part of everything we're doing, and that we're continually asking, is what I'm doing right now and how I'm thinking, does that support who I want to be? And if it doesn't, we got to run far from that. And if it does, we got to run straight at it. Give it all of our energy.
I love this. I love that you've packed so much into this short conversation, Heather. Thank you so much.